bit. Okay, so it is going to be short and sweet since it's just one person, aka me today. And one of the things is, if you're not paying attention, today is the last day that you will get. Why am I drawing a blank on it? I want to say Thanos, but that's not the right name. Let's see. It is, what is it? Fable. I don't know why I was just drawing a blank on that. But if you have Claude, today is the last day to get Fable to do the work for you for free. After that, it's going, well, I say for free. I have the entry level Claude version, but it's going to go into the much higher paid version over the starting tomorrow. So today is the last day to get in, play with that. What are people using Fable for? The biggest thing I've seen across a variety of content creators are people are using it to automate tasks that they do on a regular basis. So you can go through, Joe Ingram, a friend of mine, sent me an email. He's like, hey, Joe, or hey, Brian. What he was recommended is walk through your entire day and take note of every single task you can do, then throw it into Fable within Claude and say, what can you do for me? What should I automate? And I tried to do that today. And then, I just don't do that many things on a repetitive basis. So what I did it for today is I said, I want to know all of the top Inc. 500 companies that are here local in Dallas-Fort Worth. Why? I love traveling. I love speaking. However, don't always like to be away from my kiddo and have to fly away. So could I ever stay at a job that never left Dallas? No. I have a wandering soul. I'm a wanderluster by heart, you name it. I like to go to other places, but I don't want to always have to leave for business. So the big question was, what am I missing out on that's local? So the first thing I did today is I said, hey, go research. I live in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. What are the companies that hire speakers, trainers that are local that I should reach out to, and who should I reach out to? And it did pop up and say, hey, I can't really go into LinkedIn and do it. I'm sure you could, but it said it thought it would get in trouble. But what it did is it found 24 of the top companies that are right here that they research and know that the companies hire trainers, speakers, you name it, bring in people all the time. And then after that, gave me job titles to go and research on LinkedIn. So that was done in a matter of seconds. And I thought, okay, well, that's a pretty good one. What else can I use for it? And I asked it, well, okay, the thing I get compared to the most is obviously body language, which I do teach, but it's not my main niche, right? Decoding facial features is my number one. Then I do statement analysis, then body language also. So I went back into it and said, find me all the conferences and associations where body language experts have spoken at, pick the top 15 ones. And it came up with like Janine Driver, which she absolutely deserves to be on there. Vanessa Van Edwards, Joe Navarro, all the people you'd expect to see. And it gave me a list of all the different conferences that they've spoken at over the last few years. Well, what does that mean? Number one, that audience is looking for someone who does the type of skills I have. Number two, those people aren't cheap. So that means it's going to be good budget gigs. So just go through today while you get it for free or, in the low package, use it while you got it, right? So go make a list of, if there's something you do daily, I know a person who uses it for AI content generation. I'm going to show you what I've been working on chat. If you haven't seen it yet, redesign the flashcards. That's my new goal in life right now. So I've been kind of quiet on posting on social media. Why? Working on 3 different things at once. Number one is I've never really written a book. I started a book 2 years ago, got it done a year ago, and it sat because at the time ChatGPT wasn't ready. And truthfully, I wasn't ready either. However, when Claude came out, all of a sudden, like one of the masterminds I'm in, they're like, listen, if you've got a book out there, you need to write it in Claude. So I went out, put it into Claude and said, hey, how can I improve this book? And said, well, you don't ask questions. You don't have exercises. You don't have QR codes. You don't have videos. None of those things ChatGPT ever asked me about, right? And I'm not one of those who just goes, okay, well, go write the entire book for me. No, this is what I've been studying for the last 15 years, working with my mentors, traveling, speaking, bringing people up on stage afterwards. So it wasn't something AI could really do. So I wrote that first book based on the first course. Yes, you're going to have to wait and hear what kind of one it is. I can't give away all the stuff today, right? Or spill the tea, as they say. That's my daughter's new thing to say. Like, you want to sit down and spill the tea? I'm like, how does a 9-year-old know that? I don't know. But anyway, and then somebody reached back out and they said, hey, Brian, I have the flashcards. Can we meet up and can I pay for some one-on-one coaching with you to go over the flashcards best use? I'm like, yes, because when people buy the flashcards, they also get a copy of the best practices, which is how did I use the cards when I got them? That was, I'd go take a card with me and just try and find as many of them as I could in public. Then I would stop television shows, movies, you name it, and say like, okay, well, where do I see this on? And I love, if I watch a movie, I'm like, click, oh, stop, look, that person's got a freight train line. That person's got this or that. That's the way I used it. But then he brought up things. He's like, yeah, but it's missing this. It's missing that. I wish I could see actual faces. So if you haven't seen them before, let me show you something. Let's see if we can open some stuff here. I've got so many windows open right now. It's unbelievable. Let's see. How about... All right, so let's bring some things up here on the stage. So when I met my mentor, Mac, these are the cards that he had at the time. Well, why did he have those? Because at the time, this was about the only thing that was really, truly available there. And that were these particular cards that you see right here. So they were good. You saw the feature on the front. What Mac did is he commissioned an artist to work on them because back then it was very expensive to put in photography. But there was also the goal of, if you put in photography of an actual person's face, then you sometimes get distracted in the details. So this is really the best way to learn it first. It's why we teach kids letters before words, before sentences, before paragraphs, right? You have to have somewhere to start. Well, then what we did, let me go ahead and take this out, is I took those same ones and I thought, okay, well, what's the next step? Well, next step was to go into AI and say, draw me those facial features. So now what I'll pop up is, which one did we pick? We picked compassion lines on that one. So let me show you. What I then went into, and this is where I went into Codex with ChatGPT. So what I said on that one is, go create let me share a different screen here. I want to stop sharing that one, reshare, new share screen. We're going to go back to images and said, okay, AI, you've seen the type cards. Now give me a face that's out there. And what it did is it would give me a first pass of the faces. And I would go back in and look, okay, yeah, no, this person definitely has the disappointment lines or compassion lines right across here that you can see. So when you see different things like these are compassion lines, these are disappointment lines. So I can actually use this same AI generated photo that I don't have to pay anybody royalties for, that it completely made up a person out of ether. But this particular one, I could go through all kinds of things. So I could say like, oh, look, she's got rounded eyebrows. She's got disappointment lines here. She's got a wide area here, smaller eyes, smaller ears. So how would I talk to her? The good news is this one image I can use for so many different things. However, we're just taking one at a time and doing it. So what did I turn that into? Let me get rid of this. And let me open up one more. So let's go compassion lines. Let's show you the back. Well, let's show you both the front and the back. So the third part here, and yes, I know I'm jumping all over. It's my specialty, right? ADD to the rescue. Whoops, I want to remove that one. And I'm going to kill it. And we're going to add a new one back in here. So compassion lines. Can I do two at once? Nope, we got to do one at a time. All right, so here is what they came up with next, which was, where's the face? Pointing at the feature, compassion lines of this little line right down here. What's the name of it? What's a way to remember it? So grease or loss lines, that's the way. So even though compassion line is what it's technically called, I put in red, what do I call it or refer to it to? It's the easiest way for me to remember it. And then what I also did was I created something new, which is the back of the card. So now what you can see is, what does that mean? So sometimes I zoom in on the feature, sometimes I don't. But what you can see now is, what does the actual feature say? So you've got, there's the feature, there's the line. What's it called? Compassion line. What is it? Grief or loss. And then after that, then what you can see is in relationships, how does it work? So what does it reveal about the person? Like you can see here. How does it apply in relationships, and how does it apply in business or sales? And then last but not least, if I give away the one card, hey, where does it link to after that? So this was what was created in ChatGPT. So I'm using different sources of AI to create different things. So I'm definitely using, so far right now, I know you can put it with Higgsfield and you can do other things in Claude. What I found is it's easiest for me to do it in ChatGPT. I did try using Codex and linking it with Canva. it just couldn't get the job done. So what I'm doing, it's going to be a little bit old school. I'm manually doing this to a degree because I'm telling it what to fix or change. I tried it with Codex, tried it with Canva, tried it just regular Claude, co-work, chat, you name it, didn't work. ChatGPT just seems to do the best one, but it requires the most amount of intervention. Now, good news is once these are done, they're done. So what have I been doing is then I've been taking the new flashcards, going back over to the app I vibe coded, which is the decoding deck, or the decodingdeck.com. It's a new URL I just got. And I'm replacing the older cards with the illustrations with this updated front and back. That's all I've been doing the last week and a half. Was finished up the book, got it to Jim Morris, is helping me publish it. He's editing it, doing it. The book will be out here soon. I will go ahead and give this one away. There's a real estate one coming. Why? I'm speaking at a huge real estate conference at the end of the month. Might as well take some real estate books with me. So I'm going to have that. I'm also going to have the other part here. I need to move over, see if there's any questions. I've not been paying attention to LinkedIn at all. So we're on here. Nope. Everybody's good. Okay. It's the problem with only one person being here today, right? That's what makes it interesting and fun. Okay. So anyway, that's what I've been playing with this last week in terms of AI. And I'm using a variety of things. Like I said, I'm using ChatGPT's Codex to generate the images. But even Codex, I said, hey, do the flashcards too. Not so good. Then I went back into ChatGPT, said, hey, here's the master template I want for everything. It seems to get about 5 to 6 of them done correctly. And then all of a sudden it errors out and starts pulling crazy stuff. Now, let me see if I can find, I maxed out because I was playing today with the, what did I call it? Fable. So I've maxed out my time that I'm allowed to do for another 20 minutes. But it was funny because when I was going through the flashcard images yesterday, let me see if I can find where it really went off the rails. Let's see, book, nope. Oh, that's because I'm in co-work. Go back to chat. Let me see if I can find, oh, I'm in the wrong app. I forgot I did those in Codex. I was looking in Claude. See, that's the problem. You start jumping around everywhere. Okay. Let me go pop this one up now. And let's go share screen, Windows, Codex. So what have I been doing with Codex? I've been putting in saying, these are the features I want to see, go and describe it. You can see sometimes it does not get things very well. Like, I'm sorry, that just does not, whoops, I guess I got to share for you guys to see it. Helps when you hit share because you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. So what you can see here, sometimes it doesn't do the best job when we said, describe someone who has, there are people who have ears that stick out like Ross Perot. This is a result I got. I'm like, no, that one's not going to be a good example to use in a flashcard. But it is cool because you can come in and say like, I want these particular things. So for this particular one, it was, these are called disappointment lines. And when they first came in, you couldn't really see it. And I said, great picture. However, make these deeper so it's easier to identify. But it's gone through and just generating images of what I want it to create. So it's great fun. Here's where you can see that they're deeper than they were before. So if I go back to the first one, they're kind of there. Look how deep they are here. So this is where you can really go in and ask Codex to keep changing things over time. However, let me see if I can find where it went off the rails yesterday. Let me see. No. Is this the one? Yes. All right. So let's take a look. We see I have the person here. I was telling them what kind of ears I wanted. Oh, had them change the ears a little bit. And then it popped up the menstrual cycle. So at that point, that's when it was time to close out and start a new chat. So if you're sitting here going through things and it starts pulling random information, get out of the chat that you're in. Basically, stop it, go over here to new chat, and basically start from scratch all over again. But I did run across that a few different times. Let me see what else it was popping up yesterday. I was sitting here working on facial features. Then it suddenly went to drawings. I'm like, no, that's not what we're supposed to do. So when you start seeing the beginnings of issues, it's time to get rid of it. So like here is a guy here. This is what's called a burnout line. I was telling him, okay, let's just enhance that a little bit. And it said, perfect. And this was the next image that I got. And I'm like, okay, that's not really there. And then here's how to stay positive every day. So I don't know if I was just coming across too negative and I needed it to tell me this particular part, but guess what? That's what popped up. So once you start seeing information that doesn't make sense, get out, restart everything. Thank you, Adam Lyons, for that tip. which probably is common sense for a lot of people, but I was just more getting frustrated and arguing with it versus just starting all over again. So when things start screwing up too badly, just get out and go try something else. But it is pretty amazing what you can do in AI this day and age. So I've been kind of heads down, have been posting on social media because the goal has been the flashcards and a few other things. I guess I could get rid of this screen here. So let me ditch that one out. But that's what we're working on right now is if you got Claude, get in, play with Fable today. It's the last day before it goes into the higher tier that you're charging for it. So what can you do? Like I said, I know people who've gone through and they're automating tasks that they do on a daily basis. I personally used it. Can I show you what I did with it? Let's see here. Like I said, it's still mad at me. So we'll see if we can get back to where it was at because I used out my time. Book. No. Let's see. Nope, not on that one. Give me 1 second. That's weird. It's gone missing. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Did I come in? Was it in here? Nope. Yes, okay, here's the example. So I'll go share this one now. I want to make sure I had the right window before it got here. So as I was mentioning before, what did I use it for today? And make sure I'm in the right one. Claude, share. So I basically threw into it this morning. Hey, look, my biggest challenge is I'm not consistent on LinkedIn. I want to research people. And it said, okay, hey, look, just so you know, I'm not allowed to actually go in and do things, but here are different titles. Here's what you need to do. Set up 15 minutes time blocks every day to make phone calls. It told me who to call, what titles to look for. It created a tracker sheet for me, which that was really cool. And then it's talking about, hey, what version do you have? I said, well, I don't have Sales Navigator. What else do you recommend? Said that's not a problem. You can still do all these things. Then I said, who should I talk to first? Who should I reach out to? It gave me a list of all those different things, companies, titles here that they should have, like VP of Sales, General Sales Manager. Why I end up speaking a lot of dealerships, real estate companies, basically anybody who has a sales team, right? But you get the idea. Now, what was cool about it is when it was done, what it kicked out for me was an entire spreadsheet. So it created a LinkedIn outreach system for me of how am I going to track the information? Here's the company's name. Here's a few titles it recommends reaching out to. Here's an idea of what messaging to send. All that was done in a matter of minutes. And like I said, it's getting ready to go to the higher tier. So you might as well get the most out of it today. I don't automate a lot of stuff. Yes, I should be automating the social media posts. However, I'm just using the flashcards that I'm personally creating right now. So am I probably missing out by not taking advantage of Fable today, doing that for me? Yeah, probably. But I'm a little bit ADHD, ADD, all those letters that come together. Once I start on something, though, I hyper focus. So if you don't know anything about it, ADD is you're going to get 8 stories when I go to tell you one. But when you hyper focus in on something, that's all you're doing. So that's what I've been working on the last few days is the way it kind of fits my ADD is I start a new flashcard, generate the image, create the flashcard, then I go do a task, come back, edit the image, save it off, put it into the vibe coding app. So people who already have the flashcards, they don't know it yet. If they've logged in, which they should be doing on a daily basis, if they've been logging into the digital flashcards, then they've been seeing the upgraded ones. So all that they saw before was kind of like this. That was on the front. Well, I guess I should stop sharing here. Let me remove. Is they used to see a feature and then on the other side, a small description, but it didn't tell everybody how do I use it in my personal life? How to use it in my professional life? That's the new flashcards, what the purpose of them are for. So get in, use all the tools you have. We've talked about this before. There's a lot of confusion of, yes, I teach personal skills, emotional intelligence skills, how to get in the room with people, how to understand people, but I'm using as many AI things as I can. Used AI Studio in Go High Level last week to create a new landing page. When I speak at events, you'll notice I'm not wearing these. I'm usually wearing the Meta Ray-Bans, so I can take pictures of the audience, video of the audience, so I can cut that up later. Why? People love the point of view videos where I'm analyzing somebody's faces and it's my fingers pointing at their face and talking about it. So that one's kind of a hit. I still haven't taken those out in public. somebody told me like a decade ago, Alex Miller, yes, you, he told me that I should just be doing street style interviews with him. And I've been kind of chicken, you know what, to do it. So those may be coming in the future. I did copy another local speaker who's done really well. He has a shirt that says Brain Athlete. If you don't know Ron White, you need to follow him. Not the comedian, but the memory expert. It's kind of funny how life works out. I had a boss who took us to one of Ron's memory seminars 15 years ago. And so you talk about watching somebody rise, but here's the crazy part. He's always done well. But in the last year, that guy has taken off because he owns his brand, not his company, but his brand. So he walks around downtown Fort Worth with a shirt on that says Brain Athlete. And he walks up to people and he asks like, hey, can I teach you to memorize something? Now I put some monetary value in it. If you want to follow it, go follow Ron White. Like I said, not the comedian, but the memory guy, the Brain Athlete. I think that's his Instagram. Follow him. It's amazing what he can teach you to do. And he taught me the Memory Palace. If you're not familiar with that, it's an excellent way to learn to memorize things. But he's been doing that for 15, 20 years. Great, great guy. Anyway, he really leaned into his personal brand in the last few years. And now I'm curious to see, oh gosh, how am I going to do this? I got to open up another window. That's the problem is here with StreamYard, if I swap this tab away, then I will freeze up. But let me show you. Ron White. Let's go find him. Not now. I'm going to look up Brain Athlete. Ron White. Yeah, Brain Athlete is his. So let's see if I can share this. So maybe we remove that one. Let me share a new one. Share screen. Window. I want Ron over here. So you can see he really did. He was at maybe, I think I had more followers than he did a year ago. And I'm sub 200,000. I used to have 204,000 that slowly dipped a little. But you can see here, he's got 1,000 posts. He really started going in and just walking up and talking to people and creating these live street style interviews where he teaches people things. And you look and they're just taken off. But he really leaned into his personal brand. He used to do what every other speaker does. So if we go back, let's see how far back we can go. Before he started doing this, it was just, hey, thank you for hiring me. I spoke at this event. It's great. That stuff's good for LinkedIn. But what people want to see is it in purpose, right? So here's what I was talking about. He's got the Brain Athlete shirt. So why am I kind of going off on all this is personal branding is what really, truly launched his thing. So, Ed and I talk about that all the time. You should be using AI, but two things that people confuse is using AI and having a personal brand at the same time is you need to be doing a little bit of both. But when you're doing your personal brand, yes, you make it about you, but it's got to be more about what does your audience learn from you than you just talking about you. And that's something I screwed up for a very long time that I'm working to fix now. Part of that was because when I started speaking, everything for me was subtle skills because I had a job I pretty much hated. And I needed a release, a passion project, and I started speaking for free. Well, because I was on government documents and other things, I couldn't put my name out there. So I started putting out subtle skills. So if you just go to my website, when I first started Instagram, TikTok, all that, you'd never see Brian Galke anywhere because I had a 9-to-5 safe job, right? And now what I'm having to do is work backwards of subtle skills is what I teach, but it's Brian Galke teaching it because people will hire a person faster than they will invest in a company. We're looking at a day and age now where almost every brand that's out there, I don't know if you guys have seen, they talk about the new influencers on social media are executives at these larger companies. So people finally figured out, oh, look, we follow Elon, not Tesla. We follow Brad Lee, not Lightspeed. So now what they're starting to see is it's not just the younger people in the marketing department pushing out social media. They're encouraging C-suite executives to create a social media channel that's filtering down to the business as well. And not get caught at a Coldplay concert type of way, executives, but purposeful content that helps promote that they are people and more importantly, the business at the same time. So we're seeing a completely, totally different dynamic from where we were before, where people are like, whoa, social media, no, keep the press away. That's not what we're seeing today. So anyway, I know I just went in like 8 different directions. This is what happens when you get just me. But the important thing is go out, use Fable while you can today, right? Get the most out of it. If you decide it works out really well for you, sign up, get the higher package. but then keep using all these different skills together. So I talked about before, I use Opus Clips to create videos. I take some of my talks, cut it up. I use CapCut when I just have photos or, short clips of video. CapCut are the videos I put out there. Then after that, what do? I write my social media post, but then I turn around and say, all right, ChatGPT, help me fix it. Make it sound a little bit sexier, whatever you want to do. And then I've been doing basically the flashcards, creating the images in Codex, taking the images of the faces, going back into ChatGPT, saying, now let's create the flashcards together. It creates a template. I create the wording that goes in the template. And it's going to be a finished product that goes into my Vibe app, my Vibe coded app, which I'll put that in here. So that is, let me see, the decoding deck.com. Just got that URL the other day. That's why I'm still trying to remember it, because before it was cards that settle skills, but whatever. So when you see it, that's how you can go and look and see what's upgraded. And what I did is I could have charged more for it. I could charge something different. And I put it in so people can see, like, what's the difference? I want feedback first, right? And the cool thing is when people invested in something that was good content for when it was created, but now they're getting a better upgraded quality for the same price, they didn't have to invest other money into it. It's a reward for the early adopters. And what does that do? It keeps people loyal to you. I'm loyal to so many companies that I got in for the lifetime offer, and I keep getting value. And I'm like, wow. And so what am I? I'm an advocate for that person. So what are you doing for your audiences that basically put you in the same boat? So with that, we've been on for about 27 minutes. I might be back on Thursday. It's all going to depend. I have a speaking gig tomorrow. Want to get these flashcards done. And I'm working on book number 2 for the end of the month. So lots of things going on. I may forget. I may be here. You never know. But when are we here normally? Normally we're here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific with Ed and myself. Every once in a while we bring on a joker, which is somebody with a special skill or talent that we want to learn from, or we want to share with you that we've learned from in the past. But the best way to support us, just share this information. We appreciate you guys always being here. Normally, this is where I thank Ed. He's not here today. Don't have to thank that guy. But we should wish him happy birthday at some point. I don't know what day it's on, but it's one of the days this week. Anyway, thank you guys for being here today and following me on this ADD journey. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.